Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark movie fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today we're discussing A Costa Rican Wedding, which originally premiered on the Hallmark Channel on Saturday, August 17th, 2024, but was available for streaming on Hallmark Movies Now, soon to be Hallmark Plus prior to that. Hang out with us when the podcast is over. Follow us on Instagram. We have 2 Instagram accounts, Girls Gone Hallmark for all things Hallmark, and Megan and Wendy for life outside of that.
Can I interject here for just a second?
Yeah.
You know that amazing video that Keith Costumes sent to us? With, if you haven't seen it, Tyler Hynes says hello to us and says the name of our podcast, and they're on the set of the Kansas City Chiefs movie, et cetera, et cetera.
Literally says, "Hey Megan, hey Wendy."
It's amazing.
I'll never get over it as long as I live.
It's amazing. It's funny because I see on our Instagram a lot, because we shared it on our Instagram, and people are like replying to Tyler.
Yes.
Do you see this? They're like, "Hey baby." I was like, what?
Well, you know what's funny is they just announced that Tyler Hynes is a guest on both sailings of the Hallmark Christmas Cruise. So Jonathan Bennett was announced as the host for both cruises.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then the next guest announced was Tyler Hynes. And if you are not in the Hallmark Christmas Cruise world, you need to know that the Hallmark Christmas Cruisers, I'm sure by and large, are great people. But some of the people in the Facebook group are rabid for information about who's going to be on the cruise. And many of them are like, none of the big stars are going to be there. It's going to be nobody. It's wild to me. So anyway, the fact that they announced, in the back of my mind, this is like the producers of the cruise being like, oh yeah, no one good? Look what we got, bitches. So I almost forgot that we had that note from Tyler, that video from Tyler and Keith Costumes, because I was looking at our Instagram the other day and I was like, oh, look at that. Tyler made a video for us. Tyler's not on Cameo, by the way. And he's going to be on the cruise.
I know. I hope he remembers us. I mean, it's like the Dream movie we talked about last week. Like, we think about him all the time. It was not thought about us since he made that video.
Hey, Tyler, it's Megan and Wendy. He'll be like, hi.
Okay, back to some housekeeping. We have a great Facebook group if you want to come join. It's Girls Gone Hallmark. There is a link in our show notes. We would love to have you there.
You can also email us your thoughts on our podcast, your thoughts on these movies, girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com.
We read every email.
We do.
Speaking of, do you have any emails for us?
I do not.
Okay.
We haven't done Hallmark news and notes in a minute. I do want to say that we have some new-ish Hallmark Plus news.
Yes.
And if you want to keep on top of Hallmark news, you got to be looking at our website, girlsgonehallmark.com. It is fast and furious with the content over there.
As soon as we get any information, we are sharing it on there too. Like, I want to be a destination. Bookmark our page if you want the latest Hallmark news. We are sharing it over there.
Yes. You may have seen this already since it was a few days past, but we do have a release date for the Hallmark app, Hallmark Plus, September 10th. And they have announced that when the app launches, their new series, The Chicken Sisters, will be available at launch. That's a Tuesday.
Just one episode, though, not the entire series, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And then new episodes will drop every Thursday, starting that same week on the 12th. So they're coming out strong. My guess is they're trying to get that wrapped as close to Countdown to Christmas starting as possible. Also available at launch, the Celebrations with Lacey Chabert show, where she's throwing parties for worthy people. Same situation. One episode available at launch, new episodes dropping Thursday. We have a trio of movies dropping on the app, the Love on the Danube trilogy. So
that's coming out at launch as well.
The first movie will be available the 10th, the next the 19th, the next the 26th.
Okay.
We are also getting 3 new Jane mysteries starring Jodie Sweetin and Stephen Huzar, also dropping September 10th, September 19th, and September 26th. It seems like Thursdays are going to be a big launch day on Hallmark Plus.
Yeah.
Which for you and I is gonna be something. And finally, we have a new series that we hadn't heard details about, really, called Hallmark VIP Movie Pass, hosted by Tamara Mowry Housley, which is stars of, it's an interview show. She's interviewing Hallmark stars.
Oh, fun.
I have to say, I don't know if we've said it here before. I think Hallmark's decision to create reality, unscripted programming using their stars is brilliant.
So smart.
So smart. It's great. I love it. And I also think that this app is something that's really been needed, this sort of change, bringing this sort of exclusive content to a streaming app.
Mm-hmm. I'm really excited for it. I did see the email about the price changes.
I don't even know what we pay now. What do we pay, $5.99 now?
I think it's $7.99. I think it's going up to...
No, it's $7.99 for the new app.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then it's $5.99. Yeah, whatever. That's fine for me. I know a lot of people are not happy about that. I'm like, whatever. It's one of the 800 streaming apps that I have.
Yes.
Speaking of app, I'm praying to the Hallmark tech gods that they are updating the back end of this app because it is not great.
I honestly hope it's like the transition between HBO Max and Max where they were completely different apps. It's not like they just rebranded with a new name.
Yes.
Because the Hallmark Movies Now app is buggy.
You can't search for certain things. You can't. I have a trouble with fast forwarding.
Yes. Sometimes you fast forward and it goes to
the end of the movie.
Or the beginning.
Oh my God.
It freezes. You have to restart regularly. So I do hope that, yes, some money was put into the technology of this app. This obviously has been in the works much longer than they've been developing it. And so maybe they're like, we're going to stop updating this other app. Like, we're not putting the technology behind making these updates.
I hope so.
Because it's going away.
Otherwise, I don't know if I'm going to make it through the winter with how much we're going to be watching. And I don't know. I don't think you mentioned it on this episode. We are going to get to Costa Rican Wedding here in a minute, but
we are.
Our September schedule is a little like not fully developed yet because...
And that's not a failing on our part. We're ready. We're just
waiting for dates. But we are going to do a mix of new movies and Hallmark Plus. You guys might get 4 new episodes a week from us. I don't know. Megan's eyes just got real big.
No, I think it's going to be like that. We have tentative dates dropped in our recording schedule based on some guesses, but we don't know. We will give you an updated schedule as soon as we have updated launch dates. We are not on the Hallmark back-end secret information train.
Nor do we get screeners. So we get it when you guys get it.
Also, some news that hasn't been fully publicized but is being talked about by the likes of Sleepy Kitty Paw and others on Twitter.
Sleepy Kitty Paw?
Sleepy Kitty Paw believes that the Christmas at Cherry Lane trilogy will debut on Hallmark Plus. I would imagine it will make its way to network television.
Like at the end of the season, you think?
Or maybe just like with a delay of a couple weeks. I don't know.
Or Christmas in July.
Yay. There is also a trilogy or a 4-movie series called Unwrapping Christmas, following interconnected stories. The lead actresses are Cindy Busby, Catherine Davis, Natalie Hall, and Ashley Newbrow. And that will be another Hallmark Plus debut that we do not have full details about yet.
I'm going to reserve judgment.
I'm just going to say this. We cannot review every single holiday offering.
Yeah.
And we will have to pick and choose some.
We are going to have to pick and choose.
Let's hear a synopsis for A Costa Rican Wedding.
A clumsy maid of honor gets help from her handsome nemesis when things go awry at her best friend's Costa Rican wedding. Stars Rhiannon Fish and Christopher Russell.
This was directed by Colin Theys. Colin loves an on-location Hallmark movie, having previously directed A Greek Recipe for Romance and Love in the Maldives. He has 24 directing credits and balances his work with Hallmark with movies like A Predator's Obsession and My Father's Murder in Greece.
Oh, did he do like back-to-back movies in Greece? That's funny. Juliana Wimbles wrote A Costa Rican Wedding. She has 6 writing credits that include A Whitewater Romance, Love in the Maldives, and The Dog Lover's Guide to Dating. In addition to writing, Juliana is an actress who has appeared as Lisa in the Hannah Swenson Mysteries. She has also had a recurring role in the series The Good Doctor.
Rhiannon Fish stars as Emily. She recently appeared in Signed, Sealed, Delivered, A Tale of Three Letters, as well as My Norwegian Holiday and a picture of her for Hallmark. She has 27 acting credits and 2 projects in the works, both for other networks.
Oh, interesting. We don't know if she's going to be in any Christmas movies this year, do we?
No, and this was an acquisition, so who knows if those movies could, in theory, get picked up by Hallmark.
Christopher Russell plays Ryan. Christopher has 80 acting credits and has appeared in both Unreal and Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. He makes a ton of TV movies bouncing between Hallmark and other networks. For Hallmark, you've seen him in Chasing Waterfalls, The Most Colorful Time of the Year, and The Secret Gift of Christmas.
We have a handful of new Hallmark actors rounding out our cast, including Brittany Carroll, who plays Bride Phoebe. This is Brittany's 7th acting credit, but she has 4 additional projects in production, including the titles Perhaps I'll Die Today and A Nanny to Die For.
Methinks Lifetime?
Yes, or Lifetime-esque.
Yeah. CJ Hammond plays Jamal. This is CJ's 15th acting credit, but his first Hallmark. Earlier this year, he appeared in The Beach House Murders, as well as She's Obsessed with My Husband.
Courtney George plays Taisha. Courtney has 8 acting credits, and this is her first Hallmark movie. She was in the 2019 movie A Holiday Change, now streaming on Peacock.
And if it wasn't obvious, this movie was filmed on location in Costa Rica.
What is your first impression of A Costa Rican Wedding?
So, I'm a president of the I Hate Hijinks Club, but I did not hate the calm in this rom-com.
Ooh. Just thinking of what kind of I Hate Hijinks Club merch we could develop.
Mm-hmm.
My first impression is keep your Christopher Russell slander to yourself. I think this is his best role yet. Wendy agrees with me.
I have thoughts. I am pointing at you, and if I could I'm just going to go with that right now. I recently bagged on Christopher.
Yeah, you called him like the poor man something else.
Aaron O'Connell, who was in Junebug. I thought they have a similarity because they have facial hair. Fine, I'll eat my words. I thought he was pretty good in this role as Ryan. I agree. I think it was his best. I found him very likable. I thought he gave a more elevated performance than I have seen in the past.
I think he's the best actor in this movie. He gives the best performance in the movie. Hot take.
Interesting. And you said in our recent review of A Tale of Three Letters that this is not a good week for Rhiannon Fish on our podcast.
Let me say this. I'm a fan of Rhiannon Fish. Mm-hmm. I like her. As I said in A Tale of Three Letters, I think a picture of her is the best thing I've seen her in. Is it because it's Tyler Hynes and they have fire chemistry? Maybe. I think she's just great in it. I think she was dealt a bad hand in this movie. I think she and Christopher Russell are acting on another level from the rest of their cast. What I liked about this movie is I think this, as a member of our Facebook group said, and I agree, a nice visual postcard for Costa Rica. Mm-hmm. Nice boost for the Costa Rican Tourism Board. Nice to look at. Makes you want to go there. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple scenes that I loved.
Tell me.
There's a scene where Ryan and Emily are yelling at each other in the rain.
Yeah.
It was really well shot. Really fun to watch. It feels really natural. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of Esteban the monkey guy.
Oh my God, me too. He made my list. Oh my God, that is so funny.
I was like, please tell me more about these monkeys. Loved him. And I also loved, they did a little gender role swapping here, and they do it where we see our supporting characters talking about, there's 2 different situations about like, oh, Ryan's got it handled, or Ryan's tough, he'll take care of her. And then we get shots of Ryan and Emily in the forest juxtaposed where Emily's just kicking ass in both cases.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Okay, those are good. I agree. I liked all that stuff too. To me, I thought this was a Rhiannon Fish movie. I think the story was more about her than it was like really about like this wedding that's gone bad, or even the relationship between she and Ryan in this movie. Like it got there, but like I thought it was about like her not discovering who she is, but maybe kind of standing up for herself a little bit, like realizing she's much stronger than like she thought she was, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, to piggyback off my hijinks comment, I enjoyed her physical comedy in this movie, particularly when the tarantula is on her shoulder. Like, was that real? I thought that was great. And when she slid down the hill when it was raining and muddy, that slope was real funny, I thought.
Yes.
Thought it was really fun. And I don't know if that was like a double for her or whatever, but I thought it was really good.
There's a lot of sliding.
I thought it was super
Funny, like, we just hear Christopher Russell go like, oof, and then Rhiannon Fish is like,
Speaking of Esteban, I do love that he saves the day. He finds the backpack. All is good in the world. Emily's super grateful and thankful to him, right? Those monkeys, those are rally monkeys, right?
oh yeah.
Okay, so if you guys don't live here in Southern California, our local baseball team is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and they have a rally monkey that gets the crowd hyped up when they're losing behind. It's the same monkey with that white face.
Yeah.
Every time I was like, oh, those are rally monkeys. I know that's not their name.
He just called them white-faced monkeys, though, in the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't do any additional monkey research, but you're
didn't
right.
either.
That's a rally monkey.
I wonder if that's like a real thing, if they steal stuff.
Oh, I think so. It seems like it.
Really funny.
Yeah, I did too. I didn't hate the monkeys. I was like, oh, look at that. I hated some other choices made in this movie.
Okay, let's talk about those.
Okay, let's move on to wishes. Okay, look. Outside of Christopher and Rhiannon, this movie, it felt like two different movies. I think Christopher and Rhiannon give a nice performance. I liked the scenes with them. And then you cut back to the scenes at the villa, and I was like, I don't like any of these people. They're all kind of unlikable. I mean,
I'll get you the...
there's some nice moments, but didn't really care about any of them.
So maybe the budget was spent on the location as well as our two main players.
Yeah.
And then what was left over were like, very newbie roles.
I have some more wishes.
Yes.
This one falls into the make it make sense category.
Go ahead.
They changed wedding venues at the last minute because of a change in one single guest. And as far as I can tell, they had a total of 6 guests anyway.
I don't know.
What? She's carrying family heirloom rings and puts them in her little baby backpack. I'm like, girl, put that in a crossbody on your body that you never take off the entire time and put it directly into a safe when you get there. And also, why is she bringing the rings anyway?
I don't know.
She is a distracted mess.
She's the maid of honor. If I go missing for 24 hours in Orange County, please call someone. But if I go missing for more than 2 hours in the freaking jungles of Costa Rica, please call air control, something, thermal heat. Like, I'm lost.
I do not want to sleep in a hammock in the jungle. You're going to get bitten by something carrying a disease.
We see them like in rivers and stuff, and all I can think of like snakes and things that are like floating down the river and they're in it. No, this is not a slam on Costa Rica. I just don't like nature-y stuff like that. I hated the mother of the bride.
Gosh, she's terrible.
She was there was no need for her to be so absolutely nasty to Emily, like to her face. Like, people just don't look at the people in my life don't operate like that.
Like, both of her parents make her the butt of every joke. I just think, you're adults and you can't just like put on a face. Like, can you imagine your best friend's parents thinking so little of you that every comment about you turns into a joke?
Not cool. Not cool. And I even thought the bride, I was like, she was so concerned, like, about her wedding being ruined more than her best friend being missing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And the mother is at her daughter's wedding and she's still trying to plan her own dream wedding. The ship has sailed, lady. And the daughter's like, oh, no rings. Guess we're not getting married. Let's go have the country club wedding my mom wants.
I don't get it.
Y'all have no critical thinking skills.
Get it.
So they find the waterfall and they go swimming. And he was like, oh, this one's not on a map. And I thought, is this a nod to Chasing Waterfalls?
Oh, God.
Where you went searching for another waterfall that was not on the map?
God, I hope not. I hope not. The did you see that for me is when Emily and Phoebe meet at the beach right after Emily gets to their villa or whatever, they're drinking cocktails on the beach.
Without a drop of ice in them?
They did not have ice in them, but the branding on the cup was Wahlburgers.
Stop it.
So I was like, is there a Wahlburgers on Costa Rica, in Costa Rica? There is not. The only thing I found was a YouTube video from 8 years ago that shows Wahlburger investors in Costa Rica, like at a hotel. So there could have been at one time a Wahlburgers inside that hotel. Remember I said, what's the name of that hotel there? But that hotel has since shuttered. So
Probably didn't survive COVID.
were these cups just laying around? Did they shoot at this hotel?
Wild.
Yeah, Wahlburgers. I was like, what the hell? If you guys aren't familiar, Wahlburgers is a hamburger chain owned by Mark Wahlberg and his brothers.
We went in Boston.
Yeah, there used to be one in LA. I don't think it exists anymore, but
That's funny.
weird, right? How I even good branding because I recognized
Obviously.
it, but I was like, what? That's weird.
That is funny. What did you rate A Costa Rican Wedding?
Oof, 2.5 stars.
I gave it 2 stars for visual appeal alone.
Oh boy.
Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Girls Gone Hallmark. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. Wendy's dog is giving me the evil eye because she is not being let out right now. So we'll see you next time. Goodbye.